If you're a YouTube creator, you need to make sure that you're saving time and effort during your editing stage of your content creation so that you have time to film more videos and to create more content and to run the business the way that you need to. So I like to use some systems and strategies inside of my editing program to save me some time and effort. Now, I recommend that most people are using Adobe Rush. It is drag and drop. It's incredibly easy, and you don't need to know all the bells and whistles that some of the more involved Adobe Suite programs use. So this is going to be really, really valuable to you. And the nice thing is that you can access it from both your desktop and your mobile, meaning you can start editing on one and jump over to the other to finish it if you are traveling, if you're out and about doing things, or if you have free time while you're standing in line at the grocery store, or you're in a parking lot waiting for somebody. You can access these videos from wherever, and they both on both of your devices, so you can edit and export when and where you need to. So inside of your Adobe Premiere Rush or whatever editing program you are creating, I recommend and I encourage you to create a template. That is where you're going to drag a video in, and then you're going to add your assets on top. Then when you finish editing that video, you can delete any assets that you do not need for your next video and just drag and drop the ones that you will be on repeat using over to the other video. So inside of Adobe Rush, you can see I've got my video here. I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to expand my audio. This will allow me to clip into where I have the gap at the beginning and the gap at the end, or if I have any pauses in between that I need to remove, I can very clearly see them and delete that right there. And then you can see on the top, I have all of my assets. Now the assets are really nice because this is what adds visual interest to what I'm doing. And then I can just drag them and drop them wherever I need to. So here I start off by having a text overlay. This is my title. I can just click on that and edit it. I then go over to my label. So who I am, what I do, what's going on in that particular video, and why I'm an expert there. Then I have my social media. So those can just pop up whenever I need them to on my video. And then I have a subscription button. So you can kind of see people can click on that, and all of a sudden we've got this beautiful subscription notification for people to do. Then I can drag those over whenever I need to. Now, typically when I have a video, if it's under like 7 or 8 minutes, I'll just have one version of each of my social medias. If it's over that 7 or 8 minute mark, I will duplicate that. So all you have to do is right click and then you can duplicate that and drag that wherever you need to. So for me, when I'm doing this, I am just creating a level where it is the intro stuff, the socials, and then the subscription. But if it's a longer video, it's the subscriptions, another one of me, who I am, just to remind people, the other social media buttons, and then the subscription bell. Sometimes I put 2 subscription bells, but usually just one inside of my videos. From there, I then have the ability to enhance my videos just a little bit more. So you can kind of see how I can delete and drag and drop with those. I'm then going to click over on my volume. From my volume, I can then change that. Usually it's at a 50%, so I bump it up pretty high, not all the way to 100% because that tends to be a little loud, but I bump it up a little bit depending on how loud it needs to be. And then I always make sure I have reduced background noise on. So if it picks up the noise of my computer or the ambient noise in the room or the wind outside, that's going to help with that. So I am editing that. I can then also go into my colors and I switch away from presets, and then I just bump up either my exposure if I need to. I usually add a little bit of contrast. I can play with my highlights and shadows. And if I need to warm it up a little bit, if I film a little bit too blue or a little bit too yellow, I can adjust my warmth on that one as well. And that's just a very easy way to kind of create a template for myself. So I have the features and functionalities that I'm going to have for all of my videos, and then I just drag and drop, and then I can add in any video clip B-roll footage that I am going to need from there, and then just delete that when I'm done. So anything that I'm adding in on the lower bars, I am then just going to remove before I slide the top bars over. So I always try to keep my template type things up on that higher bar. You usually get a couple of levels here. And then I can slide things as I need to. Now I do create templates. So I have multiple YouTube channels and multiple types of videos. So I have one for my social media education. I have one for my author life. I have one for my puppy influencing. I have different versions of this with the different socials and the different templates. So they're not always the same thing. The puppy content is going to lead to the puppy content. The social media education content will lead to the social media education content, and the book content will lead to the book content. And so I have them in separate entities so that I just have to go in and save myself time and effort. Now, when I have guests on, when I work with my lawyer, I work with my lawyer a lot, and we do stuff for all three of my channels. So that's all in one template, and I've got all of our information. Then I just swap out whether it's the author one or the social media one or the puppy one, and I just tweak that content as needed. So I have all of that there, so it's very easy for me to find and very easy for me to switch out. I don't have to constantly be dragging in new pieces of social media or our titles of who we are and what we do. That way I've got those content pieces created inside of my templates. I can drag and drop, and I'm good to go from there. And I don't then eat up a ton of file space because I'm kind of reusing the same things, and that saves a lot of time and effort. That can add some weird little metadata, but for the most part, it's not going to affect most of you. It really hasn't affected me very much yet. It's not doing any damage to my files. So just be mindful of those things, and then create your own templates to save yourself time and effort when it comes to your editing for your YouTube, because there's no reason you should be spending a ton of time and effort on that when you don't need to, because you can create those templates to save a little bit of time and effort off of that. And it's very simple for use. As long as you're not moving your files inside of the root files that you have them in, they will constantly be inside of your video. So let's just say I had a picture of me, that little bio photo of me, and then I move it to a different file. All of a sudden it's going to be a red thing inside of my editing platform here. I'll have to drag it back in, or I'll have to bring a new file into it. So as long as you can see it, it is still there. If it's a red file, it means you moved that file and you have to go and re-add that into it. Drop your questions on this down below so I can continue to help you navigate the world of your YouTube channel to make this your most profitable year ever with the least amount of stress and overwhelm and effort on the content that you are creating, so that you can live your best life while also living out your entrepreneurial dreams. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.